Okay, we're back with another episode of Adventures in Adversity, an inspirational podcast. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, super stoked to have you. This is basically a podcast featuring guests that talk about how they have gone from trauma to triumph and really just turned adversity into adventure in all kinds of ways. So, with that, I would like to welcome and thank my next guest, Mr. John Kippen. Hello.
Yay! Thank you, Bree.
Thank you.
I'm so
We
looking forward to this combo.
gosh, we were just chatting before we hit record, and I feel like I've already met you in some way, just because I probably we have met in other ways where we've both been listening to each other's talks or
Yeah,
shows.
right.
You listened to a couple of my episodes, and then I want to talk about what is so cool about you is that you have been sharing your story for quite some time now,
hmm
and one of your sort of biggest stages was sharing your TED Talk, which has over 1 million views, right? In March
Yeah,
2019.
right.
Congrats on that.
UCSD, San Diego.
That's just to get your story out there and to impact that many people, I think is just such a testament to the way that you are able to move people. And I've just met you. So I just wanted to commend you for that. And I want to thank you. And I just wanted to get to know you a little bit more and talk about all things adversity. Because I think you might know a thing or two about struggle.
I do.
Yeah.
So I was born in Los Angeles to an upper middle class family. Mom, dad, and me, the three of us. Both my parents were attorneys. I had everything I could ask for. Two loving parents, went to a private school, got involved in drama, theater, learned how to think creatively, learned how to problem solve, went to college, got a degree in theater, and I got interested in computers.
Uh-huh.
And I started a computer consulting company out of college um, because I didn't listen to anybody who said, "Oh, John, you need to go and get a computer degree to do that. Oh, John, you can't do that." I, I, I refused to listen to all of that noise. And I just went out and did it.
Mm.
Um, and then in 2002, I was diagnosed with a golf ball size tumor in my brain, which resulted in them removing it successfully, of course, but also resulted in my face being paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when I woke up in surgical recovery, when I finally got to the surface, it's like I was swimming to the surface. And I finally was up, awake enough to notice my dad was sitting on the edge of my bed, holding
Mm-hmm.
my hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see my mom, so I asked for my glasses. And as I tried to put the glasses on with the head being bandaged, I all of a sudden saw my mom across the room. And the look on her face was one of horror.
Mm.
And she was thinking, what did these butchers do to my poor son's face?
Mm.
And in hindsight, I think that was the beginning of my downward spiral.
Mm.
Emotionally, and it wasn't something that I thought about, but emotionally, if my own mom didn't love my face anymore, how was I supposed to love my face? Fortunately or unfortunately, I was able to run my business from my home. I
Mm.
stopped meeting new clients. I just had a team of guys who worked for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I built a successful business staying at home. I missed so many reunions in both high school and college because I didn't want to go and have people say, "Hey, what the hell happened to your face?" I didn't want to have to constantly explain it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In my TED Talk, I talk about this one time where I went out to dinner by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting in a restaurant, and there's a booth in front of me, and there's this little, I don't know, 6 or 7 year old boy fidgeting. And he gets up and he turns around and he's looking at me.
Mhm.
He's kind of doing the Labrador tilt of the head, like, huh? But he gets up and he comes over and he says, "Mister, what's wrong with your face?" And I was like caught off guard. I didn't really know how to respond. But I knew this could be a potential teaching moment for this young boy. So I started to interact, and before I could really get anything out, his mom came and grabbed him by the arm and pulled him back and said, "Don't bother the nice man. He has enough troubles already." I got up and I went over to their table and I knelt eye to eye with the boy. And I said, "You had a really good question. You see, I had a medical procedure that caused me not to be able to move my face. But it's my new face, and I like it because it's different. Well, it's different just like yours." And in that moment, the little boy took his hands and started manipulating his face to try to look like mine, and turned up to his mom and said, "See, Mom, I can do that too."
Mm.
And as I said goodbye to the little boy and stood up, went to my table, I saw the mom and dad kind of getting really emotional
Ah.
because they realized that they were putting limitations on their kid and protecting him supposedly, or protecting me supposedly, from having an honest conversation. And my platform was being different is your superpower. Being different is what makes us all unique.
Mm.
So learning how to love yourself despite what you're going through
Mm.
attracts people to you.
Yes.
And not in a sexual or a physical way, but in an emotional way.
Mm.
Because you give off this power. You give off this secret sauce that
Mm.
everybody wants. Because everybody fights with self-image.
Ah.
No matter how beautiful you are, no matter what you look like, you're always fighting that. Am I pretty enough? Am I good looking? Am I smart enough? Am I this enough? Am I that enough? And we are our own worst enemy.
Oh, yes.
I have a coaching practice,
Mm-hmm.
and I got certified as a life coach,
Mm-hmm.
but I call myself a resilience and empowerment coach.
I can see why.
That my transformation took 12 years
Uh-huh.
because it was easy to hide at home, and I got comfortable hiding at home.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I got so bored, I went out and started playing semi-professional poker. Because we in Los Angeles there are a lot of poker card rings.
Uh-huh.
And I went and started playing poker, and I realized that the people playing with me could care less about my facial paralysis. They just wanted my money.
And hopefully they didn't get all of it. Just hopefully
No, they didn't get
some
it
of
all.
theirs.
No,
Did you
no,
get
no,
some
no,
of
no.
theirs? I hope you got some of theirs. But that was
I did. But I started
funny.
realizing that I was building these friendships with degenerate gamblers.
Mm.
And those are not the people I wanted to surround myself with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I rediscovered my love for performing close-up magic. Because
Yes.
as a kid, from my uncle pulling a quarter out of my ear when I was 5 or 6, I got to work with some amazing magicians growing up.
LA, huh? I mean,
Doug
you're like right
Henning
there.
and
Yeah.
Siegfried and Roy, and oh
Ooh.
yeah,
I remember going to Vegas, Siegfried and Roy, right? With
yeah.
ooh,
They
God,
had the huge show at the
tigers.
Mirage Hotel.
Yeah. Okay, continue. So so you rediscover your love of magic.
So I started performing at the Magic Castle, which is a
Uh-huh.
private club for magicians and their guests.
Uh-huh.
And I would finally got the courage to put 20 minutes of magic together, and I would sit behind a table, and you got to get dressed up So I was in a skirt and tie, and women were in these very sexy outfits, and it was a time where people just show off,
Yeah. The magic show.
right?
You gotta.
And people were distracted by my face, so I couldn't really get their undivided attention because they were not in a negative way. They were just saying, "Huh, did he
Uh,
have Bell's palsy? Did he have a stroke? Why is
uh,
he paralyzed?"
uh-huh.
So I changed my opening and I said, "Guys, welcome. My name is John, and I've been doing magic all my life. But in 2002, I had a brain tumor, and when they cut off my head, they traumatized my facial nerve, hence the paralyzed face. But something happened to me on the operating room table, Bree. And I'm not sure what it was because I was unconscious. God.
That would have.
All I know is I recovered. I realized I had acquired some new skills. And then I would pause. And I wait for the audience to get on the edge of their seat, wanting to know what possible skills I could have acquired by having doctors messing around with my brain. And I would look to my right and my left and lean in and whisper in a loud voice, "Guys, I am able to visualize people's thoughts." And then I would do some mentalism or mental magic. And that did two things.
Oh.
Number one, that answered the question
Mm-hmm.
that they were not about to ask me. "Well, what happened to your face?" No one's going to ask that. But they were preoccupied with it. It was keeping them from being present.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
But the second thing that did was it shared something personal about me. Something really personal.
Yeah.
And my audiences grew strength from that. They trusted me. I talk about, there I am, overweight guy balding with a paralyzed face sitting behind a table, and these women dressed in amazing outfits. And they would sit down and they'd kind of be leaning back, and their arms would be crossed and their legs would be crossed, and they had this grin on their face, but they didn't know what to make of me. They didn't know if I was going to be nice, inappropriate, but they were at a place to have a good time. So
Sure.
but they were standoffish,
You could feel the energy from the crowd, right? Like you're
Yeah, I mean,
kind of.
they kind of didn't know how to respond to me. They didn't trust me yet. So I started performing, and I've learned the best way to perform is to learn people's names. So I'll go around and introduce myself, and I have the ability to remember someone's name for at least a half hour.
That's impressive.
And I would use their names constantly, and that's the secret, is that you make a point. Instead of saying, "Please pick a card," you say, "Bree, please pick a card." And you just use their name because that's what everybody loves, to hear their own name.
You feel seen and like included and like.
Yeah, it's like a one-on-one conversation like
Yes.
we're having now.
Yes. You're right. That's.
So, and I would put my spectator, they would make the magic happen. I would just be the conduit to making the magic happen.
Uh-huh.
And I would see them feel heard, and they would just start to get really in the moment. And all of a sudden, I would see these women drop their arms to their sides and plant their feet on the ground. And they would start to really smile, and their eyes would start to dance. And I could tell that they were really having a good time. And by the end of the 30 minutes, they were asking permission to give me a hug. And it was funny, and this was happening almost every time I went.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand it because I don't know how women think. I'm a man. I don't get that.
It's hard to know when you're not one.
Yeah.
I don't even know when I'm a woman.
Right. So I asked a couple of them who were really giving me bear hugs. You know, I
Like
said, do
connecting.
you,
Yeah.
do you mind if I give you a call in a couple days and talk about your experience? Because my creative problem solving brain wants to understand
Yeah.
what happened
Yeah.
so I
You would-
can recreate it.
y-
I can
Yeah.
recreate it on demand. And
Yeah.
half a dozen women said, sure.
Yeah.
So I started these conversations. I called them and we had the pleasantries. And I
Yeah.
said, okay, when you went from being like, oh, I don't know about this guy, to I'm going to do the most feminine thing a woman can do is give someone a bear hug, give a stranger a bear hug. What happened?
Mm.
What went through your mind? What went through your heart? And they couldn't put words to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, maybe this is my hypothesis. Did I give you permission to be feminine again? And many of them started crying on the phone
Mm.
because they realized that that's exactly what it was. That women in today's society are so protective because
Mm.
they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Guarded.
They immediately put up a wall.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I could see these walls literally start dropping
Mm.
to the point where they felt so comfortable with me.
Mm-hmm.
They knew I would never do anything inappropriate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And many of these women were like, you know, you don't know it, but you gave me such a great gift because it made me understand how important my femininity is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes me unique,
Mm-hmm.
is how I deal with men or
Mm.
other women.
Yeah.
So then people started, I would finish a show and I would sit at a bar and people would get come to me at the bar and start
Yeah.
telling me their stories.
You're like a
Start
magnet for
telling
it.
me, start
Huh?
telling me what they were going through.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
So I had so many people come up and say, I have cancer. Um, Whatever, and I would spend time with them,
Mm-hmm.
just listening
Yeah.
and just saying, it's okay. There's, you're not broken. You're going through a difficult time, but it will get better. I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, it will get better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's people want to feel like there's something in common.
Mm-hmm.
That you've been down the road, you've been in their shoes,
Yes.
and that's what gives you credibility
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
they really feel like you're not just blowing smoke,
Yeah. The
but you
vulnerability.
actually have gone through it and you come out the other side
Mm-hmm.
stronger.
Mm. So, John, let me ask you this. So many questions because, first of all, and I always do this, and I know there's so much more to your story, but I want to thank you for being so vulnerable. I think to anytime you share your story, and it's just to open up and talk about hard times and talk about your darkest days. It's just not, I have so much respect for anyone who's like, here's my story, the ups, the downs, the all arounds. And I hope it just gives people, it makes others feel less alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a gift to be able to just be vulnerable about like, hey, you know, to get to this point where you were doing magic shows, there were some dark days,
Very,
some depression,
yeah, absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And can you take me through a little bit of that in case there's somebody on the other end who is either listening in bed right now and can't get up, or maybe is taking a walk and they're proud of themselves for even getting out of the house, or maybe they're in the busyness of their life and they're pretending everything's fine, but they're struggling.
I didn't like looking myself in the mirror. And so I covered every mirror in my house
Oh.
because I didn't want to go and brush my teeth and have to stare at myself. You know, I just didn't want to be constantly reminded of my facial paralysis. And I would have friends say, "Oh, John, we love your face. We love your smile. It's your smile. We love it."
Yeah.
And I would go in one ear and out the other because it somehow didn't go down here. You know, I didn't accept what they were saying. It was lip service to me
Uh-huh.
because I didn't love my face until I truly loved my face. And not up here, but I accepted myself for who I had become. And what helped me do that was helping others, was listening and being present with other people.
Yeah.
And giving the most precious thing in life, your time and your attention. And I met a gentleman named Ron who was at the castle the first time, and his friend had told me that he had received a call from his doctor that morning that his cancer had returned for the third time, and this was blood cancer, and Ron had decided that he was going to give up. He wasn't going to fight it. And so when I heard that, after I performed for them, they invited me to join them for dinner, and I did, and I just that time with Ron, listening, sharing my story, and if John can do it, you can do it kind of attitude. And the next day, Ron's wife called me and said, on the way home, Ron changed his mind, and he decided he was going to fight cancer. And 8 months later, it's funny, on the same day, I got a call from the TED organization saying I had been booked to do that TED Talk, and that Ron was in remission.
Well, confirmation there.
Did I cure cancer? No. Did I inspire him to fight with every ounce being to be able to get through those painful treatments? I did.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of that. That gave me the confidence to be willing to, when I see someone in pain,
Yeah.
when I see someone hurting, and it takes a special awareness to recognize when people are hurting, especially with Facebook and Instagram, people will post something on their wall.
You can curate it. Yeah.
That is so unlike their character, unlike the person you know. And most people look at it and they read it and they scratch their head for a second and they go, "Oh, he's just having a bad day," and they go on with their day. Not me. I stop what I'm doing. I put everything away and I call that person. And I say, I saw your post. And what's going on? Talk to me. You have my undivided attention. How can I help? How can I be there for you?
Wow.
It's the secret to finding joy in your life, is being there for someone else. Because in return, you get such a feeling of power. You get such a feeling of accomplishment. You get such a feeling of self-worth because you helped someone get through a difficult time, change the direction of their lives, and in Ron's case, beat cancer. It becomes, I understand kind of how I'm not very religious. I'm spiritual, but I'm not very religious. And every once in a while, I'll have a born-again Christian come and now I kind of understand why they're so invested. Because they understand they have a belief system, and they want you to believe. They want you to believe exactly what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I kind of do the same thing without beating themselves over the head,
Mm-hmm.
from a human level.
It's when you say that the secret to like getting through the dark times and all of that is helping other people, I really understand that deeply, because it's like it's almost like a way of confronting. Everyone has that feeling of what pain feels like from different sources, but the feeling of being alone in your pain is pretty much the worst thing ever. It's
Yeah,
there's pain, and then, oh, I'm also the only one in the world that's in pain. This is awful. And then someone goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're like, "I'm not alone."
right.
Right?
Someone actually cares.
Hmm. Now, when you those days when you were really depressed, and I know you've mentioned it in other TED Talks and stuff, was a way of getting how did you start to turn the corner of, okay, I'm going to start, I know I don't feel the love even though my friends are saying they love me. How am I going to get through that? How am I going to change this self-perception? It took time, right?
Took 12 years.
Mm.
But it was me having the fortitude, the strength to put myself out there despite what I looked like, and not to give any weight to other people's opinions. I have something to give,
Mm.
which is turning the impossible into the possible.
Yeah.
That's what magic is all about,
Yeah.
is turning the impossible into possible.
I was gonna say, why magic? And it obviously started at a young age where you always had an interest. And it's
I
that.
live my life, for the good or the bad, I live my life feeling it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And as that has bitten me in the butt a couple of times, I must admit, because
Sure.
I kind of crossed that sensitive line.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But it's given me the most amazing experiences of my life that I would never have been able to say I did this
Mm.
unless I just went out and did it, which without asking permission,
Yeah.
asking anybody if I could. One of my examples is I was a huge Jeopardy fan, and I would watch Jeopardy from time to time, and Alex Trebek was such a brilliant, smart,
Yeah.
courageous man.
Mm.
And I never knew the answers to the questions, but it didn't bother me.
Who does?
Right. Ken Jennings, I guess. But
It-
he came out on national television and asked his millions of fans for their prayers and positive thoughts while he went through pancreatic cancer.
Mm.
And I heard him, and I kind of got goosebumps.
Mm.
And I said, "Okay, John, what can you do to help this man?" And I found his daughter. Her name is Nikki. Lived in LA, and I found her, and I said, "Nikki, I need to perform for your dad." She's like, "Huh? What?" And I told her the story. I said, I've watched Alex since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Even before Jeopardy, I watched the
Totally.
game shows he was on. And he was such this role model for
Culture.
all
Yeah.
of us,
Yeah.
you
To-
know? He was so smart and so compassionate. And he asked for my help through that message. And I invited him to join me at the Magic Castle. And they were like, "No, he doesn't want to be amongst people at this time." And I said, "So what else can we do?" And she said, "Well, we're having a 75th birthday party for him, and we don't have any entertainment. So if you want to be our magician, by all means." And I said, "Excellent."
and there you go.
And I wrote a brand new show with a Jeopardy theme. And if you go to my johnkippen.com website and click on the magic link, you'll see
Okay.
you'll see
down below in the show notes that will be.
You'll see 2 effects that I did for Alex Trebek, sitting at a table right next to me. And he was such a needing to know. He and I were very similar in the way that we needed to understand how things worked.
Yeah.
And so he was so frustrated that he didn't understand how I was doing these things, these feats of magic. There was one time where I had his daughter sign a playing card. The playing card disappeared and ended up in a sealed envelope inside a wallet with a zipper part inside my wallet. And I took out the wallet and I opened the zipper and took out the envelope that was sealed, and he grabbed it and he tore it open, and then he handed it to his daughter, and he said, "If my daughter's 8 of hearts, signed 8 of hearts, is in the envelope, I'm going to kick your butt." And she opens the envelope and pulls out her signed up 8 of hearts. And he literally starts beating on me with my fists in a playful manner. And I'm like, no. And he was just like, we had this such special moment, that he was like, I don't understand. I need to understand it. How did he do that?
There's an answer for everything on Jeopardy, right?
Yeah. So after the show, 45-minute show, and I ended the show with a video prediction that I got to film on the set of Jeopardy, which revealed all of the things that happened live at that party.
Oh.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how I did that.
You can't.
I can't.
A magician, you can't ask a magician for details. Yeah. You just don't.
But afterwards, after the show ended, he and I went to a side room in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I said, Alex, I just wanted to tell you how much I love you and that I heard your plea for prayers and positive thoughts. And I sought you out. I found Dickie, said, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to perform for you no matter what. And here I am. And I just wanted to say thank you on the behalf of your fans. Everyone I know watches Jeopardy or has it on while they're cooking dinner. Or
yes.
It's you hear it more than you watch it, because it's on the kitchen TV, it's on, or whatever. It's
iconic.
It's like a cult.
That music is like all of us childhood.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's
and,
yeah.
He started tearing up. And he said, John, no one tells me what my life's work means to them. And I said, yeah, I had a feeling that was probably the case. So I'm here to tell you, you are valued. You are loved by millions and millions and millions of people. And your life work does matter.
Yeah. It's like,
and he gave me one of these hugs that just
good
reinforced that I was on the right track, that I was doing good in this world.
Well, it's amazing to me that you're sitting there and you have that moment where you see him on TV and then you get that thought and then you just are determined to make it happen and then it happens.
Yeah.
And it's like you can make things happen and then have these really meaningful connections. You just put effort into it and then you can have these moments that are like, right? I mean, it's cool that you just you believe that you can do it.
Limitations get in your way.
Yeah.
You just find ways around whatever the limitation is.
Yeah.
It becomes a mission. Mission impossible.
There's just absolutely. Well, and I'm kind of jumping around here, but when you mentioned like looking at these moments, like now you're a motivational coach, resilience coach, you're an author, you're a speaker, you're a magician, performer. And you look at where you are now. There we go. Playing the hand you are dealt. John Kippen. Okay, look in the show notes for the book.
Well, actually, I'm going to give your listeners a downloadable copy of the book.
Amazing. Thank
And I
you.
will, at the end, somewhere between now and the end of this
Okay.
interview, I will tell you the link.
All right.
But the
Amazing.
link to download the book will not be in the show notes.
It will not.
So
You
you
have to
actually
listen.
have to listen to the episode.
You got to listen if you
Gotta
want the
listen.
info. There you go.
Yeah.
What's so interesting to me is that I love that you're open, that it took a long time to get where you are, but at the same time, you know, you had supportive people around you reassuring you they love you. But it's like, no matter what someone says when you're going through your own pain, I feel like the transcendence can't happen until it's like it's got to be here. But how do you do that? How do you go from believing what your friends say because you actually love yourself from like not, how do you make that shift, or how did you make that shift over that 12 years?
I started focusing on other people.
The helping. Yeah, the helping. That's what we were talking about. You're right.
That's the key.
Takes you outside of yourself.
It does. It makes you think about them and not your own pain.
Yeah.
But you can help through your journey, help others get through their pain. And you see these moments of epiphany, these light bulb moments.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden they get it. And they want to, again, it's a secret sauce. They want some of that secret sauce for themselves. You have to be willing to lose a friendship over helping somebody. Because some people aren't ready for your help. In their journey, they may be just not ready for it. And when you interject yourself into their life from your heart, some people will push away and push you away and hang up. You know, and you got to be willing to say, I did my best, and they weren't ready, and maybe they'll come back, and maybe they won't. But I had to try.
Yeah. Even the offer of like, hey, how you doing? Or, hey, if you ever want to get a cup of coffee, even if they reject it, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. Even if they act like they didn't want it, they're like, oh, damn, someone cares, even though I'm not ready, right?
Yeah. You got to be willing to lose that friendship or that relationship over trying to help somebody.
And I think why it resonates so much when you say helping someone helps you even when you're in pain, it's like sometimes, to be frank, I'm like so sick of myself. I'm just like, I don't want to do, can we just, I'm always here. Getting out of yourself and then actually seeing yourself make an impact, then you're like, oh, maybe I do have value.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're sick of yourself.
Yeah.
Or I was.
Right. No, it's definitely you were doing good in the world.
That's the value.
You are making a difference in someone's life. I had a kid that I was doing some coaching, and it was actually magic coaching.
Oh, cool.
And because I'm a storyteller, I'm a creative problem solver, so I help people come up with their own routines.
Oh, fun.
And we work together to find out what they're passionate about. And then we find a magic trick that will tell that story. So that when they perform it, the excitement, the exhilaration, because they're talking about something they're passionate about,
it comes through because they just
completely comes through, and the audience is engaged because you're being authentic as hell.
Totally.
You know, they can't stop watching because you're being honest, you're being real, you're
Real.
being in the moment. So I had been coaching this young man. I think he was 20, 21, 22. And his dad was paying for his coaching sessions. And his dad called me and said, John, I was just diagnosed with 6 months to live. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue paying for my son's magic lessons. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. But he said, and when I told my son about my diagnosis, he freaked out and he alienated himself from me.
Mm.
And the one person in my life I needed support from was gone. And I know my son likes you and trusts you.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anything you can do, please.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called Ethan, and it wasn't our day to have a session. So he was like, John, what? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, we're not here to talk about magic. I want to talk to you about your dad. And I'm 60 years old, and I've been through a lot in my life. And I had a great relationship with my parents, but I'm going to make you a promise that whatever this thing is between you and your dad that's keeping you apart now because of his diagnosis, if you let that continue and your dad passes, you will regret it for every day in your life. And it's time to just stop thinking about yourself for once. And you need to be present and give your dad the support that he supported you for the last 20 something years. Because in this moment, he needs you more than you need him.
Mm.
And you just need to do what you need to do to mend that rift. You need to step out of your comfort zone and just give of yourself to your dad. And he was like, well, I don't know how to do it. I said, it's simple. After work on Friday, what's your dad's favorite food? He said, oh, he loves a Hawaiian pizza. I said, great. Go to your favorite pizza joint. Buy the largest Hawaiian pizza. Go to your dad's unannounced, knock on the door, walk in, put it on the kitchen table, and said, Dad, let's eat.
Mm.
And that was on a Friday night. On Monday, his dad called me in tears. And he said, I don't know how you did it. But Friday night, my son came over, brought my favorite meal. I said, yeah, with extra pineapple.
You're like, you're welcome.
And we had such an amazing time.
Mm.
And we repaired anything that was going on between us. And now he's supporting me in everything I need. He's taking me to doctor's appointments. He's there. He's someone I can lean on. And when I heard that, I was like, I have value in this world. I can change people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I coach people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been really difficult to get new coaching clients in this world
Mm-hmm.
because everybody worried about the war in Iran or worried about the economy or worried about
Yeah.
so many things.
Yeah.
And no one wants to spend any money on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's become really a challenging thing. But I'm committed to helping people
Yeah.
because that's how I feel worthwhile.
I'm so glad that you're doing it because I think it's everybody's struggling. There's a lot of struggle, mental health right? And I just think it's super cool that it takes a lot to have the uncomfortable conversation or the conversation with somebody that might result in them hanging up on you or them being like, why are you telling me what to do? Or
Yeah.
like, I disagree, or it might create tension. But
Right.
in a lot of times, it might just change the course of their life and someone else's, like in the way that it's kind of worth the risk, it seems.
So through the pandemic, the 2.5 years, we were all stuck inside and stuck at
Yes.
home and couldn't go out. I was alone, and I was feeling lonely. So I invented this game. It's called Rolodex Roulette. And for your listeners who are under 30, a
Okay.
Rolodex is the thing. It's got a little
Yeah.
right? And it's got these pieces of cardboard with people's
Yes.
names and numbers, and they're in alphabetical order. And when you want to look up their name, anyway.
Yes.
Today, it's our phones that are our Rolodex. So the way you play the game is you open your contacts, and you
Yep.
turn the phone away, and you blindly scroll up and down, and you stop on a name. And that's the person you call today. Just to say, hey, Bree, it's been too long. Or we spoke yesterday, whatever. But I'm calling you because I learned this game from my friend John, and it's called Rolex Roulette. And how the hell are you doing? What's going on? And you would be amazed at the conversations you would have, because you didn't want anything other than spending time with a friend. And we were all needing that connection.
Yes.
And we still all need that connection. And what was supposed to be a 5-minute conversation ended up being an hour-long conversation.
And
And
maybe
you start reminiscing of all these wonderful memories that you had forgotten about working with this person or loving
Yeah.
this person or being with this person, and the trouble you got into or the whatever. And you start laughing and having such a great time. And by the end of the call, they're like, Rolodex Roulette? I think I'm going to start playing it.
I like that.
But what's even better, we all have those people in our lives that we had a falling out with. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And many times you remember why, and most of the times you don't really remember why. You just know that you're not going to be the one to actually call them and say, I'm sorry, and try to mend that relationship. After all we have in life is the relationships with our friends and family. That's all that we really have. Money aside, money doesn't really matter. It's this one-on-one communication with another human being, in support of another. So, Rolodex Roulette gives you that deniability. So when you call that person that you are feuding with, and you say, now, Bree, before you start, I'm just playing my game that I learned from my friend John, and the rules strictly state that I land on a name, and I gotta call that person. So, how are you?
Just break the ice.
And it takes that pressure off that you were the first one to make that reach out.
Just blame John.
Yeah, blame me. I'll take the blame.
No, it's in both cases where you're helping a friend and having the awkward conversation that turns into help, and then also the Rolodex Roulette, you're kind of putting your ego to the side and being like it's very it's humbling. It's a humbling moment where I just think as I'm getting older and I'm like discovering who I am and getting more confident, I want to be the friend that is going to have that conversation when everybody else is kind of like, because I used to be the like, I don't want to like,
yeah, I don't want to stir the pot.
I don't want to. And then what if they get mad at me? And it's like, now I'm like,
who the heck cares?
It's like so irrelevant. It's like, what aligns with your values, and is someone in pain? Not how is this going to affect me if they're mad, right? Someone's in pain. They need somebody.
Yeah. And it's the way you rebuild your self-worth. It's simple. It's a really simple thing to do, is to be present with people and hear what they're saying, hear what they're not saying, and just be willing to reach out and be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with my magic background, my coaching method is called the I'm possible method.
Mm-hmm.
I broke the word impossible into two.
Okay.
Things.
Yep.
I'm possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
I like that.
what impossible really means. Is that there's always, bless you, there's always a way.
Excuse me. Sorry.
No worries.
First on sneeze or on air sneeze.
Yay!
Woo! Continue.
It's something that I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
The I'm possible
I'm
method
possible.
is my methodology on how to turn issues, stresses, into opportunities. Just by looking at things through a different lens. And, you know, so many people are fearful of failure, fearful of screwing up, fearful of it not going the way it's planned. Secret? Life doesn't work that way. But miracles happen when you just put yourself out there and you don't care about things and you just try it. You know, I have a method called the tripod method, which basically came from I was doing a theater production and I was prop master and I had to build a stand to hold a pot of soup over a fire for a period piece.
Oh.
And I was sitting there in the scene shop with all the raw materials on the bench, right? And I was just frozen because I didn't know what to do first. I didn't know how to take action. And my instructor, his name was Jerry Abbott. And he walked into the scene shop and he saw me standing there. And he was this guy from Paducah, Kentucky, wearing suspenders and messed up hair and had a cigar hanging out of his mouth. One of his favorite phrases, "What are you doing, John? I didn't take you to raise. Boy, what are you doing?" And he came over and he gave me his, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Jerry, I'm just having some trouble getting started." He says, "Get the frick out of your head. Okay, here we go. Take those 4 pieces of wood. Okay, make a teepee out of them. Tie a rope around the top. Okay, get another piece of rope. Tie them, splay the legs out and tie them at the bottom. Hang a hook. You built a tripod. Get out of your frickin' head." He didn't use the word frickin', though.
He put a little Kentucky twist in there.
He did.
A little Kentucky bourbon.
And I looked at it, you know, and I said to myself, once I achieved that in 10 minutes, where I had spent worrying about it for an hour, and I accomplished it in 10 minutes, you know, I said to myself, wow, that wasn't so difficult after all. How many times in your life? How many times in your life have you said, after you finally got the courage to try something and do it, hey, that wasn't so difficult after all?
5 times a day.
Yeah. So the tripod method is simple. You take one of those life experiences that you were like, if I had only done sooner, it was so easy. I can't believe why I was just, and you take those feelings and the emotions and you apply a word to it. A single word. And me,
Okay.
it's tripod.
Ah.
And the next time you feel yourself up against the wall, frozen, not being able to take action, you say to yourself, tripod, tripod, tripod. And like magic, all those feelings of accomplishment that you felt when you actually achieved whatever that was come rushing back. And they give you that sense of, what do I have to lose? Let me just try it. And if it doesn't work, I'll try something else. And if that doesn't work, I'll try something else. And then if that doesn't work, I'll call Bree.
Exactly.
But once you figure out what that trigger word is, and when you talk about trigger words, so many people think that a trigger word is negative.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be.
Ah.
A trigger word can be positive.
I love it.
A trigger word can actually give you that confidence by bringing up all those feelings of accomplishment when you actually look back and said, damn, why'd I wait so long? Man, that wasn't so difficult after all.
Mm.
And we all had those moments in our lives.
Wow.
But fear is there to protect you.
Mm.
You know? And so that trigger, that tripod method, like is just my own word for it because that's what my word was,
Yeah.
allows you to accomplish the impossible.
Mm. I'm really going to use that. That is I'm like processing that, and I'm going to use that because I struggle with that a lot, where I get the analysis paralysis and I can't start.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bree, what are you doing? And then you start what is wrong with you? Instead of like trigger word, I should be like podcast or like something or like that one, whatever that is. And I'm like, oh, wait.
Episode 80.
Totally. John Kippen. Like, or I can even just say tripod story.
I love your trigger word. Oh my God.
But
I love that.
I've never done that in the moment when I'm frozen. I usually just start going like, and the flurry starts.
And then you procrastinate.
Exactly.
Then you put it aside.
You just are like,
say, oh, that's too big. I just
fine.
can't deal with that right now.
But the trigger word reminds you that you can work through the discomfort and actually you're a badass.
Yeah.
Wow.
The discomfort is not the task. The discomfort is the stress you put upon yourself because it's too hard. Or it's too challenging. It's too painful.
It's not the task. It's your fear of failure.
It's your fear of failure.
Right? Yeah. And if that's gone, it doesn't matter and you just enjoy it. And even if it does like fail, nobody actually cares.
No.
At all. Wow. That's really good. I always say whenever I talk to somebody, now that is going to be John Kippen sitting on my shoulder the next time I can't start a task. He's going to be like, Bree, trigger word. Like, it's just very applicable. I'm really glad you shared that because I know people listening are going to be like, whoa. That's good stuff. That's why you're a coach.
It's true magic.
That's the magic.
It's magic.
Yeah. Gosh, John, I'm looking and we're coming up on 1 hour, believe it or not. I want to, first of all, thank you. And then I'm going to let you wrap up, but thank you again for just sharing, for reaching out, for being who you are. Cause I think this is like a super cool conversation. And I know I always welcome, and I'm really excited when I have a new member of the Adventures in Adversity family, as I say. I want to remind people to look in the show notes because John's information, link to your TED Talk that has over 1 million views from March 2019. Amazing.
I also did a documentary co-starring my good friend Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, amazing.
You can find that on my website that tells the
Uh,
whole story in 15 minutes.
okay, that's incredible. So all the information is below. And John, I want to
JohnKippen.com.
johnkippen.com.
Yeah.
And I want to give you the floor here to just kind of close us out. And like, you've talked about so many cool things, how what you're doing now is amazing. And I know it's taken a lot to get here, and you've come through health adversity, mental health adversity, physical health, all of the things that come with it. And what would you like to leave us with on this magical Tuesday?
The link, johnkippen.com/free gift. It'll
Okay.
give you a form. It'll ask you for your name and your email address. And then you'll get emailed a link to download the PDF of my book. And my book was a Amazon bestseller before it was even out. But it's kind of my life story interjected with words of wisdom, I call them. It's pearls of wisdom, sorry.
Uh-huh.
It's got colored pictures, and it's got QR codes.
Amazing.
And if in the digital where you just click on them.
Okay.
What it does is it takes you to a secret area on my website where you can watch videos of me doing all these crazy things.
Okay.
And I teach a magic trick in the intermission. It's as I grew up in theater, right? It's not, there are no chapters in the book. They're acts and scenes.
Okay.
And it's just like a musical.
Sure.
The intro is my overture, and the conclusion is my curtain call.
I love it.
And it's filled with very motivating quotes said by people much smarter than me.
I
And they're all collected at the end in the appendix, so you don't have to go rummaging through the book to find the quote that resonated with you. You just go to the back of the book and go, there it is! Oh my God!
and that could be your new trigger quote phrase.
Yeah, or whatever, And I just wanted to be able to help help reach others. And that's why I do these podcasts,
Yeah.
Is to help share the message that you're not broken. No matter what people tell you, no matter what you think about yourself, you are not broken. You're just going through a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
And there is always a light at the end of the rainbow.
Mm.
That tunnel.
Yeah.
You just got to believe in yourself enough to go through the crap to get there.
Mm.
I talk about in my coaching, and I'm sorry I'm going over the hour, but
No, it's fine. Continue.
I talk about dreaming
Mm.
and the importance of dreaming. That's one of the key steps of my coaching program. As a kid, my parents would have an adult friend come over, and I would meet them, and I would look up and shake their hand. What would they say to me? They would say, John, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I would say, I want to be a fireman. No, I want to be a truck driver. No, wait, I want to be a rock star. And I would grab 2 rulers, and I'd start banging on stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm playing it, and I'd get out my air guitar and start singing, and I could be in this land of make-believe for an hour,
Yeah.
2 hours, or at least till Mom said dinner was ready.
Yeah.
And then I went to school, and I graduated, I went to college, and I started a career, and I stopped dreaming.
Mm.
Because I was on a path.
Yep. Practical path.
And you get to a certain point where you stop and you say, I've checked all the boxes. Why do I feel so empty?
Mm.
Why do I feel so miserable? Why am I not feeling fulfilled? And the answer is, you are living someone else's dream for you. You're living your parents' dream, or your brother's dream, or your coach's dream, but you weren't living your dream because we're going through life, and there are all sorts of turnoffs, and you might follow one of these exits on the freeway of life, and all of a sudden you find that that's where you really want to be. And it takes dreaming to get that exit.
Ooh, I love that.
You gotta dream to be able to recognize that there is a off ramp that you can take and explore. And you may choose to get right back on the freeway, but you also might find joy. You might find happiness. And it takes dreaming. It takes closing your eyes before you go to bed and removing all other restrictions, the financial, the emotional, the whatever, and just saying, if I had everything in my life, what it would look like. What would truly make me happy? What would my gravestone have on it? And adults don't do that. They just stuck in that lane. And sometimes that lane is their destiny. And that's okay. But I would say for the majority of us, it's not our destiny. It's where we may end up, but it's not truly where we want to be. So you have the ability to change the direction of your life. And that's where the adventure is.
So much fun.
That's what gives you the hope that you're on this earth for a reason. To contribute to yourself and to others' lives by doing what's deep inside of you. And be willing to say, all right, I guess I'm taking the off-ramp and see where it takes me. And that's an exciting thing. That's a good thing.
Wow. That's a great... I feel like if I had to describe the vibe you're giving me for this episode right now, it's like an invitation to dream again. No matter how old you are, do it.
Every night I dream before I go to bed. I close my eyes and I let my imagination run wild.
Oh, with the things that you want, and you go for it.
Yeah, things I want to do, people I want to meet, things I want to do. What will make me happy? What will make me feel fulfilled?
Yeah. Yeah.
Forget about the regrets.
Just
Find a path to joy. People say, John, what's your meaning of life? My meaning of life is to fill any moments with joy.
Yes.
Period. And that's it.
Yeah.
Because no matter what your religious beliefs are, we're on this earth for a limited amount of time. And you don't want to get to your deathbed with all of these regrets of the road less traveled. You want to go, I made a difference.
Yeah.
By being here.
Yes. And I think the dream that comes to you when you let yourself is usually how you're going to impact people and through doing what you love.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You'll love it and it will impact people if it's really yours, and then you'll have fun doing it.
And the byproduct is you'll inspire others to do the same.
Yeah. They're like, oh, exactly. Give them permission to go for it. Yeah.
And that's how we as individuals in our society make the world better.
Yes.
One
Yes.
dream at a time,
Mm.
one interaction with another human, one at a time.
Mm.
That's all we can do.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
Well, I can certainly say this 1 hour interaction, it has been very impactful for me. I was looking forward to talking to you after when you contacted me and then your TED Talk, but I'm just going to spend the next few hours kind of taking this all in and realizing that, yeah, the dreaming is just really, really important. And I just thank you for reminding us of that through adversity, through everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, John Kippen, guys, please look down below in the show notes for all the links to all the things. And then, John, you mentioned the link as well. One more time.
JohnKippen.com/free gift.
Free gift. Check it out. And John, I would love to stay connected, and I've never been to the Magic Castle, but I've heard about it growing up in Southern California.
Right.
So I might have to,
we can make a date.
Let's do it.
But I think, and you didn't prompt me to saying this, but sharing this episode with friends is your first step to helping someone who might be struggling right now.
Yeah.
I'm not, yes, I'm looking for coaching clients. I'm honest about that. But
of course. Hey,
that's not my priority. My priority is to let people get strength.
Yeah.
From my triumph over adversity.
Beautiful. And like you said,
feed your heart with your art.
Yes. And like you said, if your clients say, if John can do it, I can do it.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
You've seen a lot of adversity, and it's just like, it's whenever you see someone come through darkness and speak vulnerably about it, you go, oh, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this.
The vulnerability is second. It's like so in my back of my mind.
It's just who you are.
I'm just being who I become.
Yeah. And that's just who you are, which is a great place to be, because you're just free. Yeah. It's so freeing to just have nothing to hide and just be like, here's how I feel and here's what I went through.
And here's how you can help yourself. When I start my coaching, first meeting is like, my goal for this, how many weeks we spend together, is teach you how to learn how to get out of your own way.
Get out of your own head.
Because we are our own worst enemy.
100%. Well, I know when people listen to this, I'm hoping that it nudges them to even consider the possibility of getting out of their own way. And if you're looking for some coaching on how to do that, check out John's website. Obviously, he's offering services and might just change your life. So, John, I know we could talk for hours, but for now, we're going to push pause. And again, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
I really appreciated your journey.
Hey, I'm on it. I'm learning. Falling and getting off on ramps and off ramps and cars breaking down, and then I'm getting a jump, and then you just keep going, right? And then you call an Uber, and then you whatever. You just don't stop.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, John, guys, I'm going to wrap it up and take care, and we will be connecting soon, John.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your week.
You too.